the rear sprocket, make it a little quicker, but you know, there's just no replacing that air.
Here's the 4-1-1 for those of you new to motocross. Here's how it works. Two moto format, 40 riders in each. 30 minutes plus 2 laps is the distance for each moto. We will combine the scores from both to come up with an overall winner. In case of a tie, the tiebreaker goes to those who finish better in the second moto. And what this means is 30 seconds to the race starts. Once that card goes sideways, then the riders will focus on the starting gate. And when that gate drops, they drop the hammer and go racing. And it's an uphill start and some very deep dirt. So it really, really robs the horsepower of the bikes. The elevation, the deep dirt, and the uphill start, even on a 450cc motorcycle.
Yeah, and you can see the starting grid across the top there. That's actually from qualifying. So Josh Grant lines up first. He was the fastest qualifier. Can he do it again?
He was 5th in Moto 1. He wants to rebound in Moto 2. Here we go. And it's the Hondas again. Tedesco and Short are going to share it. And Tedesco has got his second whole shot of the day. Chad Reed in 3rd.
Michael Byrne actually on the Rockstar Makita Suzuki in 3rd.
I think
just
got
behind,
shoved around, yeah.
Just a really intense track here at Lakewood. As you can see, the sun has set. There's shadows, the holes and the bumps, the ruts. Gets so incredibly difficult to maneuver. This is going to be one of the most challenging nights of racing in all of AMA motocross.
That's right. The only time this year we race under the lights, of course we do it in Supercross, but that's a stadium. The lighting obviously a lot different than in an over 1 mile long outdoor track. And look at Short going after his teammate Tedesco here on lap 1.
Well, this is for the overall. Local boy Andrew Short would like to make this his win, his first win this season here. Kind of the hometown crowd thing going on. But Ivan Tedesco was unstoppable the first moto. There was this similar situation off the start. Tedesco wheelied away.
But not this time. Here comes Short to the inside, challenging his teammate. How rough will they get with each other? They ride under the same tent. So far, Tedesco able to hold on to the deep ruts, which are so hard to see in the darkness here in Colorado. And a mistake by Short. Tedesco extends it by just a few bike lengths.
Well, and the track has changed a lot since the first moto. It's gotten quite a bit rougher, and you can see all those dark spots for the riders at the speed that they're on, and all the undulation and moving around. It gets so hard to see. So this first lap around, they're not sure how deep those holes are, where the right lines are. So they're having to learn this track as they go this moto.
The lighting much improved over the debut night race. Last year they had 7 big light towers last year. This year they have 9. And as you can see, it's dark in sections, but you can see the reflection off the bikes. It's definitely bright enough for these riders to find lines and find places to pass. And that's what Andrew Short wants to do with his teammate. Here is the 26 of Byrne in 3rd. Byrne getting stronger by the week. Starting the season with a shoulder injury. He's a veteran out of Australia. And how about Tommy Hahn, a rookie in the big 450 class? And he's in 4th. That's the best start we've seen this year out of Tommy.
Yeah, and Tommy Hahn, he's recovering from an injury earlier this year, too. Michael Byrne was 6th in the first moto. Tommy Hahn was 7th, so this is a battle within the battle here. This is going to be for an overall position. These guys are close. Both put in fantastic rides the last couple of weeks, really gaining some momentum, and the teams have to be extremely happy. Just like 48 here, Tommy Hahn on that Candidate Pet Food Kawasaki. This team, he was actually slated to ride at 250 Ave, but last season he had a couple of rides on the 450 where he just showed so much promise. They went ahead, threw him on the big board, and now he's proved that that was the right thing for him and the right move for the team to, you know, go with what he thought was best.
Yeah, that is a factory support team, that CanadaMotorsport.com team. Oh, Jeff Alessi is off the racetrack. That's Mike's younger brother, and he looks a little beat up as well. So definitely a tough day for the Alessi family.
Yeah, he's on that Moto Concepts Honda that's had some pretty good finishes to see arm. Eric Sorby there. Yeah, he's holding his shoulder collarbone area. That definitely not good. When you can't hold it up like that, that means there's some serious damage going on. And right now, some serious damage is what the Honda boys are throwing out here. Moto number 1, now they're repeating it once again in Moto number 2. Just behind them is Byrne and Hahn. And actually, Ricky Dietrich, the off-road rider who has just had some great rides here in AMA Motocross. Great start, he's up into 5th.
And Chad Reed, our series points leader, who struggled, finished 3rd in Moto 1. 9th at the end of lap 1 of Moto 2. So Reed going to give up a lot of points today unless he can wick it up. There's Dietrich, the converted off-road rider. He is the champion of the Enduro Cross Series. It's an indoor off-road series. They ride over telephone poles, through man-made water holes. but he's obviously pretty fast here outdoor on a motocross track.
I mean, he's shown some incredible talent for what he does, and his range of skills on a motorcycle is just unbelievable.
Let's go down to Aaron McMoore and the Kawasaki team. Get down Aaron in second. There is Dietrich, the 5'9". He inherited that bike from Ryan Villapoto, who a lot of people thought was the odds-on favorite for this championship. Then Villapoto hurt his knee. And that's Dietrich's bike right now.
Hey, and I've ridden these bikes before, these factory Cowies. It's incredible what the race teams do to an already phenomenal bike. You know, all the four-stroke 450s, I mean, they're awesome, right? The power and everything's there, and they just make them even better. And the throttle response and the torque that these engines have, I mean, these 450 bikes are awesome. And now for Dietrich, this is like living a dream to ride the Monster Energy Kawasaki factory bike.
Yeah, motivation not a problem for Ricky Dietrich. He wants to show what he has. We'll be back after this. We're just getting started live on Speed here at Moto 2 from Colorado. Can Tedesco hold on and win it? Stay with us. They call it Thunder Valley, 6,100 feet of elevation, motocross racing in Colorado. How do you set up a motorcycle to ride in these conditions? Well, that's the subject of today's Tech Tip with Jeremy Albrecht. Let's get to it.
All right, this week's Tech Tip, I'm going to talk to you guys about jetting. We're actually at the altitude, so the thing we're going to do is this is actually a bigger needle and a smaller main jet, and it's actually going to restrict the fuel to lean the bike out so it doesn't use as much fuel. And then we're also going to put on a bigger sprocket for the hills because in the altitude it doesn't have as much response. So this is going to help pick that up. And then on the tires, we actually have one that will dig a little more depending on the weather and depending on how much the motor really gets pulled down out there. This one's spread out and digs more. This one's more like a hard pack tire that's closer together and doesn't dig as much. So we're going to let you know later on what we're going to do.
Well, we checked in with those guys, Jeremy and the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Yamaha team, and they're two different riders, picked two different tires.
Yeah, it's interesting because that tire on the left with the big, tall knobs, the wide spacing that's made for the soft compounds, Cody Cooper was using that. Josh Grant was using the intermediate terrain, which, you know, kind of in between like the soft sandy mud and like the hard pack. You can see this track has got a couple of different sections. For me, I always like to pick what was going to work off the start, and I'll deal with the rest of the track later. But I'm telling you, here tonight, it's whatever the Red Bull Honda guys are doing. Whew, that's what's working because they are flying.
Also flying, Hahn in third, has closed up on Short in second. Hahn, that means he's got some factory support with that motorsport.com team. They're not a full factory Monster Kawasaki squad, but they do get some of the good parts, certainly enough of them to challenge the factory teams, and that's what Hahn is doing right now.
Well, and once again, this team, this candidate Pet Food Kawasaki, was a team that was set up to bring, you know, the riders on the 250Fs up through Kawasaki's Team Green, up into the pro ranks, but Hahn went for the bigger bike, and this is where the big bike matters. Here, all this horsepower from the 450 coming through, and look around the first turn once again, Ivan Tedesco.
Progressive hole shot replay, just like what we had in Moto 1. Tedesco would grab both hole shots in both motos. That's why he's got the lead.
Just about a carbon copy, even through the ranks, minus Michael Lessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, there is Short in the number 2 spot. The gap is 5.5 seconds. Of the opening few laps, Short was able to challenge his teammate Tedesco. We thought he might make a pass, but Tedesco has definitely found his groove now and is extending it. Tedesco has not won on this tour since Washougal, a few weeks after racing in Colorado way back 2005. That's a long gap. Can Tedesco get the victory? How about Tommy Hahn? Can he get through that wall of Honda riders?
Well, Tommy Hahn eventually worked his way past Michael Byrne there, and just, I'm telling you, I can't say enough good things about Tommy here. He's joined by his brother Will, who rides for that KTM team in the 250 class, so kind of the family affair here, but just showing so much heart, showing that he's got the dedication and the work ethic, because right now he is just a couple spots from the pinnacle of the sport of motocross right here, and he's reeling in the local boy Andrew Short. He's closing up. He's only about 3 seconds, about 2.5 behind Andrew Short, and he's closing up every lap.
Here's Michael Byrne in 4th, veteran out of Australia. Byrne, the bad shoulder at the beginning of the year, had some rough motos early, but he has gotten stronger and stronger, and this is another solid one He is in fourth. He's the teammate and the country mate of Chad Reed. And we'll see if we can find Reed, who's working his way through traffic. Then you've got Dietrich behind Byrne and Kyle Summers, an off-road rider.